Ruud van Nistelrooy has told Rasmus HOJLUND to have more faith in his own abilities as he prepares to try and form a crucial part of Ruben Amorim's Manchester United side. HOJLUND is United's leading striker, but he remains a raw number 9 and has 18 goals in 53 appearances for the club so far. A goal-scoring centre-forward is a key pillar in the system Amorim has used at Sporting, and he has helped Victor Gyökeres develop into one of Europe's most sought-after attackers. The 26-year-old scored a hat-trick in Sporting's 4-1 Champions League win against Manchester City on Tuesday night, taking his tally for the season to 23 goals in 17 games and 66 in 67 games since he moved to Lisbon from Coventry City. Gyökeres has a €100 million release clause in his contract, and since Amorim's appointment as United's next head coach, he has been linked with a move to Old Trafford. However, the club spent £72 million on signing HOJLUND from Atalanta and £36.5 million on 23-year-old Joshua Zirkzee, who hasn't scored since his debut in August. Ruud van Nistelrooy's spell as interim manager will end after this week's fixtures against PAOK on Thursday and Leicester City on Sunday. He offered HOJLUND some advice on fulfilling his potential, with the former United striker insisting he believes the Dane can take his game to the next level. Stay calm and believe in himself. Believe in his qualities like I do, like his teammates do, he said. He knows he's young, he's promising, it's daily work which he's putting in, which in the end will pay off, not only for him but also for his teammates. I'm confident in that. HOJLUND has 2 goals in 10 games this season and had only 1 touch in the Chelsea penalty area at the weekend, winning a penalty when he poked the ball around goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. Van Nistelrooy accepts there will be times when the 21-year-old has to drop deep, but wants him in the box as often as possible to help change games. Most goals are scored in the penalty area. That's where we want to get our players as much as we can, he said. It depends on the games. There have been games we arrived many times and created many chances. We couldn't convert them all, and that cost us a couple of results. You have to deal with the circumstances. When he needs to hold up play and get players into third-man positions and play on from there, he does a brilliant job. He's a guy who can change a game in a second. Amorim quote. Sporting side has scored 35 goals in 10 league games this season, and his forwards have been prolific. Van Nistelrooy believes that can be carried over to the United side and blame their woes in front of goals, with just 9 in 10 Premier League games, on missing chances rather than not creating them. I don't agree that we didn't create enough chances, he said. I think if you look at the statistics, we're one of the teams that's creating the most chances. It's the conversion. That's why I said I'm not worried. We're creating the chances. With the talent we have, they are still young. There is lots of potential. When results keep coming, confidence will rise, and that's the key thing with scoring goals, confidence. Ahmad scored twice in a man-of-the-match performance to put some much-needed excitement back into Manchester United's season against PAOK. United struggled to fashion much against the Greek champions in the first half, as Ahmad saw a strong shout for a penalty rejected by VR, but the young winger broke the deadlock 5 minutes into the second half when he looped home a header from Bruno Fernandes' deep cross. Tarek Tissoudali spurned a golden opportunity for PAOK to equalise when he fired a tame shot into the gloves of Andre Onana after being found in the penalty area. Just as things were beginning to grow nervy inside Old Trafford, Ahmad struck again, stealing back possession before curling into the far corner from the edge of the area. After 3 straight draws, United have finally secured a win in the Europa League to get their campaign back on track by beating a side who have just 1 point in the Europa League this season and have won just 6 of their 10 games in the Greek top flight. They are up to the dizzy heights of 15th in the Europa League table. RUU Van Nistelrooy has one final game as interim manager this weekend against Leicester before handing over the reins to Ruben Amorim. Here are the talking points. Manchester United's front line are full of promise, but they simply aren't delivering. Alejandro Garnacho 20 and Rasmus HOJLUND 21 are far from the finished article, and they showed again why they should not be starting week after week for a club of the stature of United. Ahmad was undoubtedly the brightest of the lot in the first half as he tried to audition for a starting role, running at the defence from the right wing while drifting inside and linking nicely with Bruno Fernandes. But his dummy of a pass with no one waiting behind him on the stroke of half-time summed up United's lack of cutting edge in the first 45 minutes. They went in at half-time having managed just 1 shot on target. A tame header from HOJLUND from a pinpoint Ahmad delivery to PAOK's 2, with HOJLUND touching the ball just 10 times and completing just 3 passes in 45 minutes. Such a drab performance should have been met with a furious reaction from the home fans at Old Trafford, but instead the reaction to the whistle was more a familiar side. Ahmad is not known for his ability in the air, but it was his enthusiasm and desire to impress which was evident as Fernandes swung across to the back post. The 5'6" winger jumped as high as he could, strained his neck muscles and redirected the ball towards the back post. He was delighted to see it drop in. The second was even better. Ahmad pinched the ball off former Chelsea left-back Baba Rahman, drove forward and curled into the far corner via a helpful deflection. It was Ahmad's first start in over a month. He has struggled to make an impact while coming off the substitutes bench into a team devoid of confidence. United fans will hope that a second and third goal of the season can be a springboard towards better, more consistent things. United had clearly lost their way under Erik Ten Hag, who frequently batted away reasonable criticism about the lack of a clear playing style or identity with feeble excuses. The club obviously hopes that the arrival of Amorim on Monday will help define this team, but for now they are still lacking a coherent approach with, and without the ball. Before kick-off, Van Nistelrooy was asked on TNT Sports whether criticism of the team's lack of style hurt him. "I didn't hear it, but when you tell me now, it's not of the biggest importance," he replied. "Of course, I want to have the players on the pitch to play at their best. Then you have to make a formation to play and a formation to defend and work on different skills. But I think confidence is such a big thing in football. Sometimes when the confidence is low and results are against you, it affects performances and style. On this evidence, that confidence will take some time to return." The performance was lacking, but United did at least finally win a match in a European competition. Coming into this fixture, United had tasted victory in just one of their last 11 matches in Europe, having drawn all 3 of their Europa League games this season. Their frailties have been extremely obvious in the competition, and remarkably, this was their first win in 380 days in Europe. Finally, with Ahmad firing, they have something to be hopeful and excited about. HOJLUND has now gone another game without a goal. Marcus Rashford was brought off the bench for Garnacho, but was barely involved in the match. Joshua Zirkzee stayed on the bench even later, appearing in the 90th minute, as Van Nistelrooy gave minutes to the returning Mason Mount, instead after Ahmad needed a rest on 80 minutes. United Quotes attack has been badly misfiring in the Premier League, where only Southampton and Crystal Palace have managed fewer than their tally of 9 goals this season. Starting berths are up for grabs ahead of Amorim's arrival. Shola Shoretire has expressed his pride in holding the record as Manchester United's youngest player to feature in a European match, but he is now focused on challenging his former club as he returns to Old Trafford with PAOK. The forward, who emerged from United's academy, made history in February 2021 when he played in the Europa League against Real Sociedad at just 17 years and 23 days old, surpassing Norman Whiteside's record. Now 20, Shoretire is back where it all began, this time representing PAOK, having signed a 4-year contract with them after his deal with the Premier League giants expired. Shoretire's journey with Manchester United began when he was just 9 years old, his talent already obvious. Scouts had noticed his agility, quick footwork and natural understanding of the game, qualities that set him apart even among the club's elite youth. Old Trafford became a second home, the academy his playground, and he grew up idolising United legends who had worn the shirt with distinction. By 17, Shoretire's hard work paid off when he stepped onto the pitch in the Europa League match against Real Sociedad, breaking records and earning the Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year award shortly after. The young forward's dedication was undeniable, and United fans cheered for the promising star they hoped would shine for years to come. Leaving United was a tough decision, he explained in an interview, his voice carrying a maturity well beyond his 20 years. But it was the right one for my career. PAOK gave me an opportunity to prove myself, and I'm really happy with how things have gone so far. I'm grateful to be here, and I'm determined to make this a successful journey. In PAOK, Shoretire found a new family. The fans were loyal, passionate, and had embraced him with open arms. Although different from the lights of Manchester, the stadium in Thessaloniki carried its own intensity, the fans singing for their team as if their lives depended on it. Shola thrived in this environment, and his confidence blossomed. Under PAOK's coaching staff, he was given a central role on the pitch, his skills honed with every match. Yet, there was a humility to him. A silent respect for his roots that kept him grounded. When the Europa League draw revealed that PAOK would face Manchester United, Shortire was taken aback. Returning to Old Trafford so soon was unexpected, but he felt a thrill at the chance to play against his former club. It was a big surprise, but a nice one, he said. I've been looking forward to this day, to coming back here. Game day arrived, and Shortire was well aware of the attention his return garnered. Journalists and fans alike speculated on how he might perform against the club that raised him. Would he celebrate if he scored? Would he offer his teammates inside knowledge of United's tactics? For Shortire, the answer was clear. I wouldn't be here without them, he stated. If I score, I won't celebrate. It's not about that, it's about respect for everything they gave me. As the match kicked off, Old Trafford was alive with energy. The PAOK fans, though fewer in number, were spirited, chanting passionately for their team. Shortire stepped onto the field with a calm resolve. The stadium erupted in applause for their former youth player, a warm acknowledgement of his contribution to the club's legacy. The game itself was tense, with United dominating possession early on, while PAOK's defence stood firm. Shortire weaved through defenders, showing off the very skills he had cultivated in United's academy. Midway through the first half, he received a quick pass just outside the box, his instincts telling him to go for the goal. He paused for a second, steadied himself, and took the shot. The ball sailed toward the net, missing by inches. The crowd gasped a near goal from their former young star. Shortire's expression was unreadable, though a subtle nod suggested he knew the opportunity was close. As Shortire walked down the tunnel one last time, he couldn't help but feel grateful. He was only 20, with a world of football still ahead of him. His return to Old Trafford, his respect for his former club, and his resilience with PAOK had left an impression on fans and players alike. This match was not the end of Shortire's journey, but rather a milestone, reminding him and everyone else the power of dreams, hard work, and the unbreakable connection to the club that first believed in him. And so, with a heart full of memories and ambitions, Shortire looked forward to the future, ready to write the next chapter of his story wherever the game might take him.